I found out that virtually everyone in this room is pursuing careers in health care. Is that true? I need to, before we leave, to say thank you for something. When I was a little kid in the hospital with my tonsils, and then a few years later when I had to have a small surgery on my foot to get a needle out that I'd stepped on in my carpet, I spent the night and it was scary. I was all by myself that second time. And I was so afraid, and one of you heard me crying, and when you came in I pretended I wasn't crying, and you were there, and I remember that. And a few years later, when I was in the doctor's office, one of you noticed that I wasn't feeling good, and you had a conversation that made me feel that I mattered. And a few years later, when I was in college, still trying to figure out how to be different in a world that does not value difference, and I tried to leave the planet. And I remember being very ashamed of being in the hospital for that reason, because here you were trying to keep me alive, and here I was trying to die. And you treated me with such passion and such compassion. And a few years ago, when I went, my back was not treating me right because I'm getting older. And a physical therapist taught me, number one, help tweak some things to make it better, but then gave me some exercises so it doesn't have to hurt all the time. And I get to experience lots more moments of pain-free than I thought I was going to have to. And just a couple years ago, when I was in the hospital and I broke my thumb in a bike fall, and it turned out I needed a pin in it, so I had to do this surgery. And right as I was going in, you were just getting ready to get off duty, and I was your last thing of the day, and you looked at me and you were tired. You said, Paul, I'm going to leave you here, and this guy's going to take over. And I looked over, and I realized that the anesthetist, the surgeon, the nurse, everyone in the room was male. And when I realized that, I looked over, and tears came out of my eyes, and you said, are you okay? And I couldn't speak. I just shook my head no. And you waited till my voice could work, and I said, is there really going to be only men in the room? I'm a survivor of abuse. And at that moment, the realization that I would be in a room with only men, I never in my life knew that that was something that triggered what I would eventually learn as post-traumatic stress. And she saw the tears, and she said, I've got your back. And I remember waking up, and there she was. There you were. Your life was full. You had kids. You had something going on. And for a moment, I was the most important thing in your world. The people you help will whine, will moan, will scream, because they are not at their best when they're not well. And you will rise above that, and you will not get paid what you're worth. But because we don't only get paid money from our jobs, you will get more than money from your job, and you will make a difference. And I won't always remember to thank you. So for that, thank you.